What's up, world? Uko here from Better Therapy Now. Welcome to the Better Therapy Now podcast. Today I'm talking about a range of things. We'll start with some new research that I stumbled upon. A study was done, I wouldn't say new, but in 2019, they found that single women are happier than their counterpart, married women, but married men are happier than their counterpart, single men. There's also a ton of health benefits to being married, so I did a deep dive into this. I'm not sure why I keep thinking about relationships this week, but I also did a little bit of a dive on America's obsession with long-term versus quality in relationships. I can't remember the podcast that I watched about this, but there was just a psychologist, like a marriage therapist, and he was talking about how Americans are obsessed with how long somebody's been in a relationship or married, and not obsessed enough with the quality or the profundity of the connection. So I want to talk a little bit about that too. A couple things that have helped my discipline this week: creatine and red light therapy. I have a lot to say about this. I did a little bit of research. I saw some speakers speak about these two things. I've been doing it every day for the past just couple of weeks, and I already feel like I feel the benefits of it. Then I'll wrap up on how fear feeds on vagueness and some positive affirmations. So yeah, I think this will be good. It's been a good week. The Better Therapy Now podcast. Research suggests that married men and single women report higher levels of happiness overall. In 2019, Paul Dolan published a book, Happy Ever After, where he found that single women without children reported higher levels of happiness and longevity. Research suggests that women have better social connections, they have more social connections, their connections with other people and friendships are much richer. Able to do this and maintain these connections even when they're single. Unmarried women enjoy the freedom and the autonomy, but I think the key here is that they do not have children. For men, they're happier in marriage because of one thing, and that is isolation. When men are not married or they're not in a serious relationship, they are much more likely to isolate. That part I definitely agree with. Men have this huge tendency, this high likelihood to isolate. It is a pain point for men, whether they admit it or not. If they are single, they're going to have sadness, not necessarily depression, but sadness from being stuck in this isolation. And you can really get trapped in it as a man. I don't think women fully understand it, the feeling of just going an entire month and nobody coming up to you and talking or even looking at you. If you are a man and you're in a town where you don't have family or you're not close to your family, you can go multiple months without having a face-to-face conversation with anybody. Isolation for men can get much more profound. I have so many friends who are single and they use this dream of entrepreneurship or investing or becoming rich one day as kind of their gateway or ticket to end the isolation. And they don't even recognize that they are isolated in a lot of ways. I look back at Facebook, all my friends from high school, and compare the women to the men. And what I've noticed is that many of the women still have maintained relationships with their friends from back when they were teenagers up to this day. And the men have kind of all spread out in different directions. And the ones that seem healthiest are those that are married. There is a positive benefit to being married. It's pretty obvious from what I see. I was talking to my stepmom a couple months ago during the holidays, and she was telling me that she wishes that she lived her life over again, that she would have found the right partner and she would be much happier. And that made me think the difficulty, and I think the fear that a lot of men have, and I think the fear that women are willing to overcome or take a chance on, is this idea of finding the right partner. You really don't want things to go wrong because it can be so emotionally destructive. But women are willing to take that chance. Why are men not willing to take that chance? Men seem to resist that chance or even just resist that situation, the situation of marriage. I'm one of them. I'm very resistant to getting married. It's just the history of my past relationships. It's like evidence that I'm not at my happiness within a relationship. But I don't know, maybe I've grown. I'm in a relationship now and I'm pretty happy. It's not the fear of the relationship that I think men are afraid of. It's the fear of the breakup, the fear of the divorce, and how destructive that could be, both financially and psychologically. I listen to Scott Galloway speak all the time. I'm always watching his YouTube videos and he talks about divorce. He's like, a divorce is like financial disaster for anybody involved. When it comes to conversations surrounding marriage for men and women, from what I see, I think women talk about it, they talk about the marriage, they talk about the good aspects of marriage, the wedding, the relationship, the connection. When men talk about it, they really talk about one thing, and that is how it could be financially disruptive. And then they have this what I think is an irrational fear of the woman taking a bunch of stuff from them. And this is coming from men who don't even have anything. It's just like a fear that's been programmed in their mind almost culturally. Which brings me to my next point. Americans are way too obsessed with long term in a relationship, or the idea that it should last forever, and not concerned enough with the quality of the connection. When people ask others or married couples about their marriage, they usually ask one question, and that is, how long have you been married? That's their way of gauging quality in a relationship. How long have you been together? A 2007 study found that staying in a relationship for the sake of longevity has really terrible health benefits. It increases anxiety. It increases depression. The romantic comedy Plus One hits on this topic. It has Maya Erskine and Jake Quaid as the two love interests. And Maya Erskine is amazing in every single movie that she does. She's definitely my favorite female actor right now. The movie's about them going to a whole bunch of weddings together as friends, and then they eventually fall in love. But it also highlights the difference in their parents' marriages. Jake Quaid's character, his dad divorced his mom, and Jake Quaid is really impacted by this because he felt like they should have been married forever. And he like hates his father that now he's moved on and he's about to get married again to somebody new. Maya Erskine's character has parents who've been married forever. They've been married so long, and you see the marriage seems kind of cold. And what she tells him is that, hey, my parents, they hate each other. The quality of the marriage sucks. It's better to just get a divorce and be happy. I think that's a very profound point. It's a brilliant point, but it doesn't take away the fear of divorce, because divorce, for me, I'm not even concerned about the financial impact of it. Forget that. I mean, you can make money again. Who cares if they take everything, or if you lose everything, or if lawyers cost millions of dollars or whatever? That doesn't matter. That's replaceable. I'm much more concerned about the emotional impact. What if it's not my choice to get a divorce, but the partner wants to get a divorce? What if there's kids involved and I can no longer see them anymore? The legal system really dictates that women are going to end up with the kids. Most kids choose to live with their mothers anyway. Men think about these things. They may use the excuse of this financial fear, but I think the real fear is where they're going to end up emotionally afterwards. One study showed that most men after a divorce, specifically 6 years after a divorce, will have no contact with their children. And that scares the heck out of me. Wait, so that's that. I've been thinking about relationships a lot lately. Creatine and red light therapy. This past week has been sort of an experiment for me. And for the next 21 days now, it was 30 days, I want to do red light therapy at least 5 days a week, and then creatine every day that I do a workout, which is basically 7 days a week. I'm just trying to do everything I can to make myself stronger and get myself in better shape. My friend turned me on to Dr. Brecker, and he talks about a genetic methylation test, and I'm trying to figure out which place I want to go to get this blood test. It's a blood test that helps you find out what nutrients your body can't really process and what nutrients you're deficient in. And his whole idea is that you shouldn't take supplements for the sake of taking supplements. You should take supplements for the sake of supplementing or making up for the vitamins and nutrients that your body isn't producing or your body isn't properly breaking down. And he connects that with the majority of health problems, including both physical health and mental health problems. He says most of these health problems that people suffer from are because they're nutrient deficient in something. Anyway, he recommended a few things to do that I've been doing. One is grounding yourself, which is much more popular than I knew beforehand. But walking outside, finding some dirt or some sand, and just walking on it barefoot while getting some sunlight. That's like the cheap way or the free way to do red light therapy for yourself. There's a red light therapy clinic around the corner. They do like HBOT testing, but I just go there for the red light therapy. It's not too expensive. It's kind of expensive, like $65 a month, but it's affordable. So they're not open every day, which sucks, but they're open at least 5 days a week. So I'm able to go 5 days a week, do that for about 10 minutes. Another thing that he recommends is doing breath work. So I've been doing breath work every day and really focusing on that. And I've really replaced my meditation practice with breath work. Like I still meditate every day, but I'll do breath work instead of just sitting there in silence, focusing or doing some type of guided meditation. But I'm really excited about the red light therapy. So I do it 5 days a week. And Last year, I had sciatica, and I did a bunch of stuff to try to get rid of the sciatica. Eventually, I got rid of it. Like my back is good now; it feels great. But red light therapy was one of about 5 or 6 things that I did. I did a little bit of physical therapy, but it was really like just whack. Like I went there, they showed me a couple of stretches, and then I would leave. So I probably did 3 physical therapy sessions. So I don't think physical therapy cured it. I really think it's one of 2 things. I started doing cold plunges about 3 times a week, and I was doing red light therapy 3 times a week. And I really think it was one of those 2 things, if not both of those things, that really helped my sciatica go away. I also did some key stretches that the physical therapist showed me, but I'm interested to see what red light therapy is going to do for my body now. I mean, I have pains all over the place. I have some elbow pain from just working out. I have what is it like? It's not arthritis, but it's like preliminary arthritis or early onset arthritis in my left knee, which prevents me from doing like a really good squat. That's why my squats, when I do my workouts, it's like kettlebell squats, or I'll be squats where I don't go all the way down. I still have tightness in my back. So I'm wondering if red light therapy will help that. There's also some suggestion or some research out there that says it helps your eyesight, but there's also a lot of arguments that say it hurts your eyesight. So I'm interested to see like what it will do there. People talk a lot about how it helps your skin. So after 30 days, I want to see if I feel a difference. Next is creatine. So when I grew up, creatine was like the bad guy. Like you were not supposed to use creatine because it dehydrated you and it could make you have like a heat stroke. But a lot of research has come out since like the early 2000s and 90s that kind of contradict that or overturn that research and that opinion. So I started using creatine. It's supposed to increase muscle strength and intensity by 8 to 14%. And I would say that's one of my challenges is that my workouts are very, not necessarily going through the motions, but I try to be very safe because I don't want to get injured. But my intensity levels are very concerning. I want to get more intense, and I think creatine can help me with that. I'm very good at being consistent and going every single day or going twice a day if I miss a day, but the intensity level is just not where I want it to be. So I'm gonna start doing that and see what the benefits are. I have a bottle, I'm taking a bottle of pills. I remember when I was like in high school, I used to take creatine and it was like in powder form, and you kind of make it the same way you make a protein shake. This one I got is creatine monohydrate, enhanced strength and size by NutriKey. It's just like 2 pills before I work out and then 2 pills after I work out. It's only been about a week, so I honestly haven't noticed much of a difference, but I'll keep using it for the next month at least, or probably next like 2 or 3 months just to see. I'll at least use it until I'm out of the bottle. The thing that I love about creatine and red light therapy is that there's research that shows that they both fight neurological diseases, so Alzheimer's and dementia. It increases brain function. And that was the thing that really sold me and made me want to try it for at least a couple of months. This is a weird segue, but fear and vagueness. I did a video a couple of weeks ago about the concept of fear as I see it. And my belief is that, and I really believe this is true, is that people fear things that they don't make specific for themselves. So if you don't describe your fear in specificity, then you are going to continue to enhance that fear. People like to keep fear in this very vague box and a vague context because if you apply specificity and say, okay, what would happen if this thing that I'm afraid of actually happened? Then you'll realize that it's not that scary. Whenever you're afraid of something, or whenever I'm with a client who is afraid of something, has some type of anxiety, social anxiety, anxiety surrounding their marriage, anxiety surrounding whatever situation, maybe they're afraid they're going to lose their house or lose their job, I ask them to get as specific as possible about what their life will be like if that thing that they're afraid of actually happens. That's a key to not necessarily get over the fear, but to fear it less and to get into a position psychologically so that you're able to take action in response to that fear. You have to kind of position fear psychologically in a place where you can take action on it so that you can do things like positive affirmations. People devalue things that are free, like breath work. The positive benefits of breath work are astounding, but people won't do it or they'll underestimate it because it's free. And that's the same thing with positive affirmations. Research shows that if you tell yourself certain things and it'll help you believe certain things, and that will change and construct your reality in a way that's beneficial for you. There's 5 positive affirmations that I'm going to tell myself every single day. And I really need to write these down because I forget them whenever I'm out and about. But the first one is, I am enough just as I am. Whenever I'm in an individual session with somebody, the conversation ends up being about self-worth at some point. And I often get lost about what to do. And I found that positive affirmations is an important first step. And I'm enough just as I am is a great one to start off with because it targets self-worth. I'm enough just as I am is a self-affirmation. It gives you importance of yourself. And self-affirmations activates the ventral medial prefrontal cortex. That's the part of the brain that regulates feelings of self-doubt. So you can kind of manage your self-doubt with that affirmation. I don't think people take this seriously enough. And I say it often, and I feel like people roll their eyes at this, but there's saying the right things. There's kind of believing the right things. Like we all know what we should believe. We know that we should believe that we have self-worth, and we know that we should believe that we are confident and that we are capable of things. But there's a difference between like believing something and saying something and then internalizing something. And that's where affirmations comes in. Next affirmation: I have the power to create change in my life. This affirmation is essential because you have to believe that obstacles are surmountable and that you can construct the environment that you're in, because your environment is such a game changer when it comes to positive life outcomes. You have to feel like you have some power over your environment. This affirmation definitely helps with that. Next affirmation: I am worthy of love, success, and happiness. This gets at the heart of kind of behavioral therapy, which says that the root cause of a lot of people's unhappiness is self-sabotage and feelings of unworthiness. So this positive affirmation really gets at the heart of that and helps your brain kind of undo that self-sabotage. Positive affirmation number 4: I trust myself to make the best decisions. There's nothing more powerful than believing that you'll figure things out no matter what gets in your way. And this affirmation really gets at the heart of that. And the last affirmation: I'm resilient, strong, and courageous. This one's important because you don't want to give up. If you're achievement oriented, if you're goal oriented, if you have some big, hairy, audacious goal, this affirmation will help you be resilient, because without resilience, you're not going to make it to that finish line and cross that finish line. So that's all from the Better Therapy Now podcast: 5 affirmations to enhance your life. Let me know in the comments below which affirmation you're going to use, or if you're going to use all 5 of them, and how long you used it. How did it change your life? Did it help you at all? Did it change your perspective? Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.